Welcome to Haunt Weekly.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jonathan.
I'm Crystal.
And this is Haunt Weekly, a weekly podcast for the haunted attraction entertainment community. Whether you're an actor, owner, or just plain aficionado, we aim to be a podcast for you. And thank you for your patience.
Yeah.
Thank you for your patience. We know we're late in getting this one up. So it's actually going up on the 4th of July. So happy 4th of July to the Americans out there.
Who are actually celebrating.
And happy Canada Day, since it also happened this past week to all of our friends north of the border. Honestly, I haven't started my thing where I do the random holidays, so I have no idea what other random holidays are. But happy holidays to those who celebrate and are enjoying them. But yes, indeed, I appreciate your patience in letting us get this one out a little bit late. We decided some time ago that if we weren't feeling well, we would postpone rather than be on here obviously not feeling well.
Yeah.
Because you guys kind of let us know that you could tell we're not feeling well.
Like, we don't want to hear all those sniffles and stuff.
And you've got a cough because your GI's acting up.
Yeah,
and
just take a day. Thank you.
So, yes, thank you. We take our day, and if we can't even do that or can't even guarantee that, we do Redux episodes or whatever else we can do.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can usually hold it together for 5 minutes for an intro to a Redux episode. That's much easier, admittedly. But indeed, do take a moment and follow us at all the places we exist. We're at hauntweekly.com, Haunt Weekly on Twitter, Haunt Weekly on Facebook. Don't know how much longer we're on fucking Twitter. I just realized that one. YouTube.com/Haunt Weekly is the YouTube channel. You can also find us wherever you get your podcasts, from Apple Podcast, Google Play. Not Stitcher anymore. Stitcher is gone. Stitcher died or was dying. I think they're closing. So I don't know. Spotify still has them. Who else the hell has podcasts? I don't know. We're there. We are there.
Wherever our podcast processor sends us to, that's where we are.
We have no say in that shit. Please read nothing into where the hell we are or are not.
Yeah.
We do not control it. But anyways, every week we ask a question of the week, and last week's was a touching one, and I really love some of these answers.
Yeah.
We asked, what is the best way a haunt has made you feel included? And we got some great answers.
Mm-hmm. Roberta McClellan said, as someone who was completely new to the project, making friends was it. Despite the hustle of pre-open, managed to make friends and have a great first day at the haunt. Then getting hired into management and etc. So that's how that she felt included.
You know, and I think that's one of the great things about haunts is because if you found a good haunt, if you found a good group, everybody's looking to make friends.
Right.
Everybody.
Yeah.
And it's easy to make friends when everybody's looking to make friends.
Yeah.
It's almost impossible not to.
Yeah, and also she actually, since she's in management now, answered the other side of the question, which is how do you make people feel included? So she thanks them every night for coming, makes food on the weekends, and has a Discord channel so everyone can meet up and keep up.
Yeah, we need to get into Discord.
Apparently, like I've been hearing about it for a long time.
And I've been thinking about it. Between Reddit going tits up and Twitter going twits up.
Yeah.
It's like the social media companies came together and said, Jonathan has a real problem. Let's help him kick this habit by making our services utter shit.
Pretty much, yeah.
It feels that way. My Reddit time has dropped so much since the first. There's this, and because I've been home this past week, and we've had no work, realistically, no work. And so I theoretically and normally probably would have been on Reddit like at least half that time.
Yeah.
I have not been. I've spent more time playing the SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated game. It's actually a lot of fun. It's stupid, but fun.
Well, it's SpongeBob.
No. Oh, and it's a style of video game I do have nostalgia for. I don't have nostalgia for SpongeBob or this game particularly, but this style of mascot platformer. But anyways, James Isaac, the Blind Squirrel. I think I said that right.
Yes.
One haunt let me go before opening for a one-on-one tour to someone who described everything to me, rather, and he is blind.
Yeah.
So, yes, that's why the description was apropos, and that's really fucking cool.
Yeah. I'm glad that you found a haunt that did that and worked with you.
Yeah, and, I'm really curious about their experience being a haunter and working at haunts while being blind.
Mm-hmm.
But, that's something for following up on later. But no, that is so cool that you found a haunt that did that.
Yeah. And Max Schick, this is the final for this week. What made me feel included was the seasoned actors who were willing to share their knowledge. I struggled my first 2 nights, and one of the long-timers sat with me and helped me create a scaring style that was simple and effective.
Yeah. I mean, that's another thing, is like, if you go to a good haunt, everybody's on a team.
Yeah.
It's not a competition. It's not, oh, they suck, they're not a threat to me. Nobody's a threat. We're working together here.
Yeah.
And this is something that we've seen in management and our day jobs lately, is that when people get intimidated by those newer than them or quote-unquote below them on the chain or whatever, they start making stupid decisions that end up undermining themselves. So this collaborative spirit of, hey, let's help each other out, I love it. I'm here for it. All right, this week's question of the week is personal. Got to be blunt.
Oh, okay.
I thought we were doing that one.
Okay, we can. I went with your other one, but...
Okay. Actually, I know what we'll do.
Okay.
We'll have an unofficial question of the week, because we do want to pose a question to you that we need answers to desperately.
Yeah.
But it isn't really good as a question of the week, I admit.
That's fair.
That's fair. But we do need answers to this.
Yeah.
So please, leave a comment at all the places we exist. What the fuck do you all do to beat the heat when you're doing haunt work?
Yeah.
It's that simple. Because we've both got the bug to do haunt work.
Yeah.
I've been feeling largely good enough. GI issues are still around, but I'm feeling better these days. I seem to be more balanced. And most of the time, I really want to get out there and do stuff, but the heat index has routinely been over 120.
Yeah.
And that is impossible. We can barely survive a walk to the fucking car.
Exactly. Which is right outside the door.
Which is not far.
Yeah.
Like, we actually have not gone to bars and clubs because we might have to potentially sit somewhere nearby outside.
Yeah, exactly.
We have literally avoided doing things we love other than haunting because of this heat.
Yeah.
So, please, what do you have that you can help? I'd be especially interested in anyone like in Phoenix.
Yeah, because it's staying hot even at night.
Yeah. And that's one of the problems with New Orleans, is like, we're not a desert, which means... Like, with those days where the heat index has been above 120, it never got below 90 at night, the heat index.
Yeah, or even the actual temperature. I think the lowest I've seen lately is 85.
Yeah, it doesn't go down. And that's because, we're not a desert climate. We have cloud cover, but nights aren't cold.
And this is unusual for us. We're not usually in this place right now.
We're not usually this hot.
Yeah.
We sometimes will dip our toe into this kind of heat come August.
Yeah, but it's usually just a couple of days. But this has been going on for weeks.
Yeah, it's been going on since mid-June.
Yeah.
We've not been able to get shit done, and it's starting to freak us out a little bit. So
the nightmares have started.
Yeah, that is the unofficial question of the week. What do you do to beat the heat? Maybe I'll do 2 posts or something. I don't know. We'll work it out.
Yeah.
But I'm very curious what y'all do, because someone out there has to know something we don't, because we've never had to deal with anything like this.
Yeah, I'm actually starting to look up cooling pads that you freeze and put into your clothes.
Yeah, it's getting out of hand. It really and truly is. Mm-hmm. The real question of the week this week, if you could build a haunt anywhere that doesn't have one, where would it be?
Yeah.
I love this question. I want to see some, like, money's not an issue. Don't worry about money. You're fully funded. Whatever your stupid idea is, you're funded. What?
As long as it's safe. Don't.
No.
I shouldn't make jokes.
Yeah, but you're thinking about underwater, weren't you?
Yes. Don't do that.
Don't do that. Okay.
Don't answer that way.
But no, where would you build a haunt? For me, I know where I would build it.
Me too.
Where would you build it? French Quarter.
Exactly. French Quarter, year round. have it ice fucking cold so that whenever you're out there in this heat, you want to get out of it. You come inside. Saw it work with the wax museum. Saw it work in several of the year-round haunts that we went to.
Myrtle Beach had several that were that way, and both have a history of that.
Yeah, and Galveston.
Galveston had one that was great, both a museum and a haunt there, both ice cold. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, we're in a tourist town. We get people all the time, and we don't have a year-round haunt.
We have haunt-adjacent stuff up the yin-yang. All the vampire tours, ghost tours.
Escape rooms.
Escape rooms up the yin-yang, including spooky escape rooms. Mm-hmm. No year-round or even just haunted house in the French Quarter. In fact, one of the things that's always frustrated me is if you look at haunts inside the city limits in New Orleans, we have the mortuary, and us.
Yeah. And that's it.
We're it. And that has always bugged me. And we're kind of only technically in the city limits. We're in Algiers, and that gets complicated in its own right.
Yeah, people don't think of Algiers as part of New Orleans, but it absolutely is.
Second oldest neighborhood, man.
Yep.
I'm just telling you. Anyway, so yeah, French Quarter though, absolutely. It's so pitifully obvious. And look, I'm not even saying it would be a big haunt. It probably couldn't be with the size of the buildings there. I'm thinking you do a haunt similar to the year-round one I visited in Myrtle Beach when I was a kid, which is just basically a giant horseshoe. It takes about 5 to 10 minutes to go through.
Yeah.
You can do some neat things with it. Something like that would be great, honestly.
Yeah. I think so too, and I think it would be a moneymaker.
Yeah.
Like, I do.
I don't know why it doesn't.
And you could theme it out easily for the different seasons. Like, you could have 3 months of Mardi Gras, you know?
Yeah. I mean, there's so much you can do with this. The only issue you're going to run into is the French Quarter is about as ADA unfriendly as any place can get.
Yeah, and there's a lot of historically protected buildings.
Yeah.
Which is, you're also going to run into problems.
You're going to have to find a way to do everything temporary.
Yeah.
Because the minute you start putting screws and bolts into the wall, you're going to run afoul of various authorities that that have a lot of power. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
and maybe we were just thinking, that's the easiest place for us.
Well, I mean,
maybe we're not thinking big enough.
I think it's absolutely batshit insane. It doesn't exist.
Yeah.
I cannot explain that to anyone.
Yeah. Yeah, because, I mean, it should be obvious.
I mean, and no offense, but if Galveston can have one, we can too.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, why would that offend Galveston? It's just the truth. They're a similar style seaside, tourist town.
Yeah.
It just makes sense.
It does.
Besides, Galveston loves being compared to New Orleans from what we've heard.
Everybody does.
Everybody does, even though they're very different. And Galveston's very nice. I actually like Galveston. Let Galveston be Galveston, not New Orleans light.
Yeah.
Anyways, moving on. It is still an even-numbered episode. Unfortunately, because of aforementioned illness, I did not get to go in and update the conference reminder, so we're a little bit behind on updating these. I'm going to promise to do that this weekend and have it ready for the 398. But on that note, let's get started with this week's conference reminders. All right, coming up July 15th and the 16th in the Mesquite Convention Center in Mesquite, Texas. Coincidence?
No.
Probably not. It's the Texas Haunters Convention. Features a trade show, a costume ball, door prizes, costume contest, tons of other great stuff. TexasHauntersConvention.com for more details.
Okay, and then July 21st through the 23rd, it's the Horror Wing Con Idaho at Garden City North Expo Hall and at Expo, Idaho. Featuring home haunting classes, pro haunter classes, costuming and makeup classes. IdahoHorror.com.
Yeah.
Sorry, the HO and the HO next to each other. Like, my brain was like...
Yeah, I agree. Idaho does not lend itself to this naming scheme.
Yeah.
But I've got to say, I'm actually really curious about this convention. Because it sounds, A, like they're trying to get a good variety of haunters. And B, it's in Idaho. I don't think we've ever discussed Idaho.
I thought that was where the, they had another one, but it was another name that you had to really, like a corn convention or something was there. I don't know.
I don't know. But, yeah. I remember the one you're talking about now.
I thought that's where it was.
The amazing, it was a pun on maze. Because, of course, it was.
Yeah.
No, I know what you're talking about now. But, yeah, it was a maze for corn maze conventions.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, and finally this week, Midsummer Scream is July 28th through the 30th in Long Beach, California at the Long Beach Convention Center. 300 plus vendors, the Hall of Shadows.
Mm-hmm.
A great way to get a little flavor of a lot of different haunts. The Museum of Halloween will also be there. MidsummerScream.org for details. Please check them out if you happen to be in the area. So, yes. On that note, we have checked the math repeatedly. Mm-hmm. This is episode 396. That's divisible by 4. It means it's time to do
the news.
And we actually have a lot of news, but we're starting with something personal to us.
Yeah.
And that is Chicago, you better get fucking ready.
Yeah. Because if you haven't seen it already, Horrors Against Hate is moving to Chicago.
And so is Paul Lehner.
Yes.
Along with Paul Lehner.
Well, yes.
Oh, and happy birthday, Paul.
Yeah. No, but happy birthday, Japes.
It is actually, it actually is Japes' birthday as we're recording this and posting this. So, yes, it is actually Japes' birthday. But happy birthday, Paul, too.
Yes.
But no, happy move. He says he's doing it in September.
Yeah.
That means he'll be there just in time to check out all the excellent Chicagoland haunts.
Yeah.
And as we can attest, that is a great community to get involved in. Not only the people there are wonderful, but the haunts are excellent too. So
yes, and I'm sure he's already been in talks about getting all the Lost Souls.
100% sure.
Haunted bus tour. If you aren't watching their social media, I'm sure that they're going to be posting something soon about their tours coming up. Those sell out really fast. So make sure to watch for those if you're going to be in the area and interested.
And I will never not vouch for Lost Souls because Japes is an amazing organizer.
Yeah.
And dear God, he knows how to pick haunts that go together well. Mm-hmm. I mean, that was what was really great about it, was because he knew how to mix and match haunts that went well together, but all had different experiences.
Yeah.
And I love it. Mm-hmm. And no worry. I get to drink and be merry and just go to haunts. It's great. I don't have to fucking drive for all that shit like I did in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Moving on. A woman in Piqua, Ohio. Did we ever learn how to say that?
Obviously not.
Piqua. You know what? If you want your town name said right, make it easier to say.
That's not fair.
That's not fair at all, especially coming from Nick.
Pika.
Pika.
Oh, no.
Choo. No. But no, woman will not take down her 9-foot werewolf. Mary Simmons said, Phil the werewolf. I'd forgotten it was named Phil.
Yeah.
I don't know why that got me then.
I don't know either.
I've read this story like 4 times. I don't know why it got me on that pass. Mm-hmm. Has kind of become a household mascot, but also sees it as a security deterrent. I guess it keeps dogs from crapping on your lawn.
Well, she's like, why would anybody try to break into a house with a 9-foot werewolf out front? I mean, I wouldn't.
And I mean, look, we've used the same logic that no one's fucked with us in our haunt, even as other neighbors have complained of shit.
Yeah.
But the city of Piqua said it received an anonymous complaint, coward.
Yeah.
About the decoration, but some neighbors say they see no issue with it. The city did give out a warning.
Yeah.
Apparently this is the lightest tut-tut of a warning ever in all of human history, though, because it has no plans to further enforce the decoration's removal.
It's like, we've got to tell you that you need to take it down, but we're not going to do anything if you don't.
Yeah, realistically, this is completely, pointless, but, we've got to do what we got to do. Won't take it down unless it becomes a safety hazard. I think that's that's good.
Yeah.
I can think of a lot crazier things. Mm-hmm. Like there have been things our neighbors have done that annoyed me far more than having a 9-foot werewolf.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like we have some neighbors that we have issues with, but it's not over a 9-foot werewolf. I'll assure you of that.
No.
But no, but I think this is great. And honestly, it seems like the city the town, I doubt that's a city, but the town just had an eye roll moment and go, jeez, do we have to let them know? So we got to let them know.
Mm-hmm.
We'll go tell her.
Mm-hmm.
Can't do anything else. And why would they?
Yeah.
Why would they? All right, moving on.
All right. Recently, the Louisiana Economic Development in Natchitoches held a conference about empowering small business owners and introducing new resources. This article is by Bennett Ronald Jr. of KALB. So yeah, they basically held a summit, and a lot of things were talked about programs that support small businesses. But the reason they're included in this list is because Jason Summerlin, the owner of Darkwoods, is quoted in it as saying being able to utilize these types of organizations through LED and through Louisiana Central.
Which is the Louisiana Economic Development,
yes.
Not LED lights.
Right.
I was confused by that the first time I read it.
We're able to utilize resources that we wouldn't have normally had access to. So maybe that means Darkwoods is going to be expanding because they have now access to this stuff.
And Darkwoods, we've talked about them repeatedly on this show. They are our local exemplar of a haunt that has found a way to create a year-round business for itself.
Mm-hmm.
Because it is a haunt. It is a Christmas venue. It is a slooshing for random crap in the summer venue. I'm sure they do something. They do Easter events.
Yeah.
So they have something going on every season.
Mm-hmm.
They've really nailed this. Okay, we have 2 months here. We don't have anything. What are we doing?
Yeah.
Spirit. I love it. So yeah, they have been expanding, and I don't know how much more they can expand, honestly. But I definitely think that this is such a cool thing for them to be involved in. And I'm really glad to see a state economic development, organization working with haunts.
Exactly.
Because
we were included, yay!
Yeah, and that's just that we often don't.
Yeah.
We often just kind of get, no, you're just a weird seasonal thing. You go somewhere else.
Yeah, you don't need our help. Yeah.
Who's opening a yarn store? No. Actually, no, it turns out if you open a yarn store, no one gives a shit either.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, take it. Trust us. We know.
Mm-hmm.
We tried. But yeah, no, it's just an interesting. They gained insights into the loan application process, the eligibility requirements.
Yeah.
There are more letters than that, Jonathan. And all the services offered by LED.
Yeah.
So, cool. I'm happy about this, and I'm happy that Darkwoods is getting in on it.
Yeah.
And I'm happy that, like I said, I'm happy we're included, because we don't get included a lot in these things.
Yeah, we're often an afterthought whenever it comes to...
Yeah, if you want to remember how much of an afterthought we are, remember COVID.
Yeah.
Remember that, and how state governments woke up in mid-September. What? We got to regulate those too?
Yeah, exactly.
50 states just woke up the same fucking week in September.
Mm-hmm.
Wildest thing. All right. So this next one is from Farm Progress.
Uh-huh.
And this one, it is about a corn maze that was designed using new technology.
Yeah.
So this is kind of cool.
And it's not just any corn maze.
Yeah.
It's the longest running agro-tourism attraction in Arkansas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. You did not put Han's name in the notes that I see. I'm sorry.
Okay.
But anyways, but yeah, basically they have been running since 1993, and they teamed up with the University of Arkansas System Division of Agriculture. That's a mouthful and a third. To use high-tech methods to precision plant the maize.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. And then this may be my ignorance. The Pumpkin Hollow is the name of it. But this is maybe my ignorance here. I always kind of thought those corn mazes were cut down.
That is how they used to do it.
Oh, okay.
So
I'm not an idiot.
Yeah. No, that's how they used to do it. They used to, you would plant the entire area.
Yeah, the square.
Yeah.
Yeah, the rectangle.
Let it grow up, and then go through whenever it was about, I think they said about a foot tall,
Mm-hmm.
and cut it out.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
That sounds horribly inefficient.
Yeah, exactly.
That's even worse than what I thought. I thought they just like harvested a section early or something and got at least some corn out of it. No, that's just wasteful.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, so they would do that and like go through and like I don't even know how they would do this and make it look like the picture because they use a local art teacher to do the designs for the corn maze every year.
Yeah.
Which is kind of interesting because this is a full community project. This isn't just, the operators of the corn maze.
Well, this year they did a precision plant of the maze.
Exactly, because they paired up with University of Arkansas.
Yeah. And apparently everyone had a good time doing it. Because like you said, community event. So yeah, this is interesting. Seems like they're trying to eliminate the more tedious step of making a corn maze.
Yeah.
I.e. the making a maze part of it.
Exactly. And basically you could tell that the person who owned it, excuse me, was really excited. Because they're like, I got to ride the tractor as the maze was planted and see the planter turn off and on where it was supposed to plant the corn to get the maze design directly in.
Yeah, so you don't have to go to and cut the corn in a few months' time.
Yeah. Corn grows really fast.
Yeah, it does. Well, sorry, a few days' time, whatever. I don't know how fast corn grows, okay? I know it is grass, though.
Yeah.
The Rift Tracks community has taught me definitively that corn is grass.
Okay.
I know that much. Corn is grass, motherfuckers. Now you know. All right, moving on.
Mm-hmm. All right. Nobel's Haunted Mansion is celebrating 50 years of scares. This is by Lee Jagan at the Pennsylvania homepage.
Mm-hmm.
And Nobel's is located in Ellisburg, Northumberland County.
Which I find that funny because we've spent time in Northumberland in England.
Yeah, I know. I had to look it up because the article didn't say, but yes, I was expecting somewhere else too. But yeah, people say that it's a scary place that loves the Haunted Mansion, and they go in there and are surprised, and we've added new features. There's not a lot in the article. There's a couple of reactions from people getting off of the ride and saying it was fun and scary, but that's about it for that one.
Yeah, a little short story there, but interesting to be celebrating 50 years.
Exactly.
Ohio Haunted House is back open in summer for Midsummer Metal Fest.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, this is in Wells Township Haunted House in Brilliant, Ohio. Mm-hmm. Article by John Lynch, WTRF. Basically, 5 heavy metal bands are doing a concert at the haunted attraction, or where they will be doing it, I should say, is it starts at 7 p.m. on July 8th, it appears. Mm-hmm. Basically, the Pure Steel Records power metal band Sunless Sky. Other headliners include Altered States, Design the Curse, Crash Army, and 72 Legions. I think I got that right. Mm-hmm. All area bands, basically, judging from the cities. All ages event alcohol and coolers are welcome for those 21 years of age or older. So BYOB, I guess.
Yeah, that was unclear, but I think so.
Yes. And proceeds of the Wells Township Haunted House year-long activities are used to fund local scholarships. Price is only $16?
Yeah, $16.
Includes concert plus haunted house tour.
Yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Behind the scenes haunted house tour.
Jesus fucking Christ, where are we going?
Because we don't live there. But if you live there...
You got no excuse.
You should go to this, because it sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah. All right, and this next one has been the big story from the number of times it's hit my inbox.
Do you want to take it then?
No, go ahead.
The Mall of America has announced that they are creating a haunted attraction for this Halloween. Yes. This article is by Adam Urin at the bringmethenews.com.
But there's actually a ton of sources for this, so please don't think you're hung up on bringmethenews.com.
No. But the Mega Mall says it's teaming up with the American Monsters to open a new indoor scare experience. It's described as 45,000 square feet of terror, featuring elaborate set designs, immersion. They say that they're going to do something new that's never been seen. I'll wait until we see because heard that before.
Heard that many, many times. I love this because the mall is so big. They have to explain where it will be. Never been to the Mall of America.
No.
It'll be located on Level 2 South.
Mm-hmm.
And will run from September 15th through October 31st. Tickets going on sale in August. I have an asshole question to ask, which is how relevant are malls? Because like the Mall of America, its relevancy is that it's the biggest mall, right?
Yeah.
How relevant are malls, especially to the young people that make up the core haunt attending audience?
Yeah, I don't know.
I legitimately don't know. I can't recall the last time I went to a mall just for the sake of going to a mall.
Yeah, but granted, it is a tourist attraction in and of itself.
That is true.
And it has, like, a full park inside with roller coasters and shit because it's that big of a mall.
Yeah. So, I legitimately don't know. I think this is cool. It's going to be a big haunt. 45,000 square feet is nothing to sneeze at.
No.
So, yeah, I'm very interested to see what they do. I do hope that it is something new, something unique, something exciting. I'm doubtful just because, how many times we've heard that. It has nothing to do with these individuals in particular. But, yeah, it's a neat idea. I've often wondered why more malls don't do this because we have malls. In fact, the mall near us has 2 anchor stores.
Yeah.
Completely closed. Those are giant empty spaces that could become a haunted attraction pretty easily if someone, had the money and the resources to do it.
Yeah.
And the location is great. The parking is excellent.
Yeah.
You could do what Netherworld did in their old location, which is just, you could also, in addition to having parking, you could set up, which Netherworld did not have at that location.
Right.
You could easily set up like a carnival area in the park and so forth. There's basically, I don't know why more of these anchor stores aren't being turned into haunted attractions. Just because it seems like this mall would want something there rather than nothing. But that's one of the problems. I do not, and I will admit this openly, I do not understand retail real estate.
No.
I do not understand commercial real estate at all. And having had to deal with it to help Ellie find her store, it is batshit insane.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. People fucking lie. People make dumb decisions that don't make any sense in any kind of logical universe. And so they probably don't want haunted attractions, and they don't want 6 months of rent instead of no months.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe there's a reason. Maybe they're holding out hope that Dillard's is coming back.
Yeah, I don't think that's it.
What? Belks?
No.
No. Anyways, moving on. Spirit Halloween is celebrating an anniversary this year.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Me either.
But they are celebrating their 40th year of life. And they are hosting, apparently this is an event they do every year. But this year they're actually hyping it in their more traditional channels.
Yeah.
They're hosting it on July 28th in New Jersey. And this is from a press release by them, by the way. But basically they're doing the big debut. The coming out party for all the new shit they're going to have. That undoubtedly will break before October. But no, basically this thing, and according to them, this is huge.
Yeah.
Like the map talks about how you are not allowed to line up more than 24 hours before the opening.
Yeah, like there's no camping out. You're not supposed to do that. Please show up by, I think it was 8 a.m. that morning for something that doesn't open until later.
I think it was literally 24 hours out.
Yeah.
You could be there for 24 hours. But you couldn't be further than that. And they have a fucking carnival with rides, well, not with rides, but with booths and things. And the photo of the past event they had, it appears like a lot of people go to this.
Yeah, and I had no idea.
I had no idea this even happened, and maybe I'm just an idiot or that just wasn't paying attention, or maybe I don't give enough of a shit about Spirit, especially since they have decided they don't need one near me anyway.
Yeah, they said 7 a.m. Friday, July 28th. Can't arrive before then.
Yeah, and it opens that day?
Yeah.
Okay. But they had an area for 24-hour parking if you got there early. They had a whole separate lot. And it's just wild because apparently this is like a huge festival. And like there are people that really, want to do this and really make a big deal about this.
Yeah, and I was actually wrong. So that's 7 a.m. on the 28th, and the event doesn't start until 11 a.m. on the 29th.
So over 24 hours, like 26 hours. 28 hours.
Yeah.
So if you want to camp out 28 hours to be the first person to get your peepers on the new Spirit animatronics, God help you.
Yep, and if you're one of the first 200, you get a 40th anniversary swag bag, which is why they're expecting more people to try to camp out.
We have a complicated thing with Spirit.
Yeah.
We've always been kind of back and forth with them because I sound old, but I always think Spirit was better, like in the early 2000s.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, I'm glad they exist.
Oh, yeah.
Because they keep people interested in Halloween, and they give something that, it's below the pro level, but it's above what Walmart carries,
Yeah.
But Home Depot is starting to play the same game.
And Lowe's has been up in theirs, too.
Yeah.
Don't discount them either.
Yeah. In fact, we'll be making our trip soon because they'll be putting their stuff out in the next couple weeks.
Yeah. So, yeah, no, this is an interesting thing. Like, I'm very glad Spirit exists. I don't want them to go away. I would just like it if maybe the animatronics didn't break so quickly and
yeah,
and the quality of the product good. Because like we haven't bought anything from Spirit that's not a consumable. We bought like fog juice and some bulbs and things
canes.
like canes. Canes are definitely a consumable. Though we have did not actually break any canes last year.
I know. It's crazy.
Well, it's amazing what a difference is when you get a solid cane versus a hollow one.
Yeah.
That's the lesson I learned.
Mm-hmm.
So once again, you build something to actually take a hit. It can take a hit. Wild thing, right?
Yeah.
All right. In Maryland,
mm-hmm.
the Field of Screams has announced a major expansion. They're kind of unclear on the nature of the expansion in the release.
Yeah.
They're a little vague here, but this is a press release from them. But the Field of Screams in Maryland has basically said that they've been around for more than 20 years, and they've doubled the number of stations on their flagship Super Screams Haunted Trail. It's a 1-hour walk through in the dark, cold, sinister woods, as they say it. But it basically now it includes over 50 scenes, packed, full of props, actors, etc., etc., etc. So it doesn't sound like they've actually extended the length.
Right.
Which, if it's an hour long, you probably don't want to extend the length.
Right.
But they've extended the density.
Yeah.
Which makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah. All right. Haunted attraction and immersive entertainment business is launching in Casper,
Wyoming.
Wyoming, thank you. This is from K2 Radio. The Turn on the Dark Entertainment competed in a Visitor Casper Business Challenge. So this person went to college. They got a double major in theater, and I forget the other thing off the top of my head, and I didn't put it in the notes. But he entered this business challenge and was actually in the top 5 for the business models, which is interesting because not a lot of haunts enter these type of competitions.
Yeah, and once again, Casper has the benefit of a great tourist economy.
Yeah.
Because it's a ski town.
Mm-hmm.
So during the ski months, it's not going to be in sync with traditional haunt season, obviously.
Yeah.
No tourist town is, or almost no tourist town is.
Yeah.
Because actually, I just thought of the other place to open a haunted house.
Okay.
Chimney Rock, North Carolina.
Yeah.
Tourist town, very, very big tourist destination in autumn.
There's There's enough ghost stories up
Oh,
there
yeah,
that
there's
you
enough.
could
You could
build
do some
on.
mine or cave shit. It's easy.
Just have ChatGPT write it for you.
Exactly.
It'll be fine.
Turn that one over to the AI. Moving on, sorry.
But anyway, one of the things I found interesting about this is that being in that competition got so much exposure that he was able to crowdfund this haunted house.
Yeah.
Which is the first time I can remember seeing something that's completely or mostly crowdfunded for a haunted house.
And to be clear, like operating a haunt in Casper is not going to be cheap.
Right.
Everything about Casper is expensive. That's one of the downsides of it. Is it is a ridiculously expensive place to live, to visit, to do anything. So
exactly. And they're also already starting their community outreach because they're helping with, or they helped with the mural project for Casper Pride, which was a 24 by 8 foot mural that was revealed on June 1st, I think. So that's pretty cool too. So starting that building up of the community spirit, taking on the crowdfunding. Good luck.
Good luck, man.
Looks like you're on the right track.
We're going to do, I think, 3 more stories because we are running short on time, and there was a lot.
There was.
A lot of stories, but there's one I do want to definitely get to. There's 2 I want to get to. So, moving on, Terror Roulette is a new interactive horror experience coming to the Chicago. We were just talking about Chicago. This is on Fox 32 Chicago. Basically, the Terror Roulette invites participants to become a part of the story where they deal with a villain known as the Dealer, who literally holds all the cards. Pun. But basically, a deck of cards determines the fate of the guests and what horrors await them in the next room.
Yeah.
We have seen a lot of unique stuff in Chicago. Like, Dead Rising, for example, was a very interactive haunted attraction.
Right.
Very interactive.
Yeah, and this actually reminds me a little bit of that because they're talking about shuffling the cards and separating the groups. Yeah,
and that was one of the things that Dead Rising did was the people you were paired up with in the outside line were not the people you went in with.
Yeah.
No, they took unbridled joy in making sure you were in separate groups from your people, which that does hurt that shared experience thing that haunting is about, but also it is off-putting and offsetting. So
it is
a little bit of both. Yeah. I can see merit and drawback to it. Halloween Horror Nights has made an announcement, and this is potentially a big one. Go ahead.
They're doing a Last of Us house this year. It's celebrating the 10th anniversary of the game, so it'll be more based on the game than anything else. That's...
Yeah.
I'm just rushing through.
Well, no, it's fine, because we can probably actually get the rest of them in. I just realized how close we were to the bottom.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm actually excited about this, but here's my thing. I have never actually watched Last of Us.
Right.
And I have never played the game, and I am an avid gamer, so that is saying something.
Yeah, we both own the game because we heard how great it was when it came out, and then we got distracted with a different game.
Yeah, I have over 500 games in my Steam library, legitimately.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily a shock, but follows the game's protagonist, Joel and Ellie, as they go through the not zombie infested.
Yeah.
Very, very important thing to remember. These are not zombies because they are fungal.
Yes.
Yes, I've actually just listened to a re-review of Last of Us. If you literally before we were coming in, it was a sheer accident that happened. But yeah, HHN will also be offering a Behind the Screams Unmasking the Horror tour, which should be fun. So yeah, good story.
Yeah.
Okay, Tokyo's 140-year-old amusement park, the oldest in Japan. Japan, a country known for a lot of old shit.
Yeah.
Gets a new zone and attractions this summer. This is from Sora News 24. And located in downtown Tokyo's Asakusa neighborhood. Hanayashiki, I think that's how you say it, actually. Actually sounds right. Basically, they are an old theme park. And they sound like what our City Park theme park is.
Yeah.
Which is a quaint old theme park that still has a lot of charm.
Yeah, that's basically how they describe it.
Yeah. But with the upgrade, they are getting a new haunted house.
Mm-hmm.
It's being renovated and rethemed with a new backstory based upon Japanese lore.
Mm-hmm.
This looks like a lot of fun, and it also they also have a new camera. They call it the Mysterious Scoop Cameraman AR game.
Yeah.
That's literally the name.
Yeah.
But it's an
there
AR
might
game.
Be something lost in translation.
Yeah, there almost certainly is. But it's an AR game. We're using a special device to search the park for ghoulish monsters and capture them like Pokemon, but for bastards.
Yeah, you take photographs and...
Like Pokemon is for like Pokemon for not bastards.
Yeah.
Pokemon's for bastards. Wait a minute.
Yeah, and the haunted house is 243...
Running your Animal Fight Club. Jesus Christ.
243 foot.
But no, this is really, really cool stuff to see this park get an update. And also to add a haunted attraction. Because we actually talked at length about how Japan really does have a rich history here.
Yeah.
Of haunted attractions. It's just not one we necessarily would recognize.
Right.
So, no, this is really cool.
All right. Experience Oklahoma's haunted tavern for creepy tales and cocktails. This is going to be in Tulsa. The article's by Critter at K-Law. And this is a traveling haunted tavern tour.
Yeah.
I think that they were in New Orleans a few months ago. We looked at going, but it's a traveling show that visits various cities. They're supposedly by the Ichabod Crane descendants hosted. And you get to hear about local lore and drink, spirits. So, this one's going to be held in an historic building that was built in 918.
No, the historic 918 building. It was not built.
The historic 918. I'm like,
it was not
that
built.
Doesn't sound right.
No, there was no way to
Am
fucking
I
build.
missing a one?
Built in the middle of the Dark Ages.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, man. Okay, this one was an interesting one because I think I submitted this one because we talk a lot about the use of waivers in haunts and why, from a legal standpoint, it doesn't make sense. However, from a marketing standpoint, it may make sense.
Yeah.
And that's what's happening here because this deals with a roller coaster. I'm sorry, the scariest roller coaster in the UK. It's the 13 is the name of it. It's TH number 1, number 3, teen. So it's 13 teen.
Yeah, just give up.
But basically, when the ride opened, it required all guests to sign a waiver, and it also had an age gate on it that prevented people, I believe they said under the age of 16, from getting on it. However, the age limits and the waivers are not there anymore. That was just a thing to get people interested and hyped for it initially. Now all you gotta do is pass the standard height check and you're fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was marketing, and they said it worked.
Yeah. People flock to it because we've got to sign a waiver to be on it. It's obviously the most scary.
It's obviously intense. And yeah, okay. I will acknowledge that a waiver can be a good marketing tactic, especially if you're trying to do something very new and very different, and very, upend. But man, I see too many haunts try to do it as a legal thing, and that is not good.
Right.
That is not how that works. All right, next up.
Bruce Bear heads to Soggy Hollow this Halloween. This is by Mike Wilton at All Hallows Geek. So the Legend of Sleepy Hollow, we all love it. And this is getting, so Mother Bruce is a bear.
Yes.
It's a kid's story. He's going to go to basically be put in a Legend of Sleepy Hollow type situation in this book that's coming out this year.
But it's the Legend of Soggy Hollow, not Sleepy Hollow.
Exactly.
Yeah, and this is a combination of New York Times bestselling author Ryan T. Higgins. So yeah, this is the one who actually wrote this. So yeah, this is interesting.
Yeah, because Bruce the Bear apparently doesn't like holidays, and he really doesn't like Halloween. Like, what's wrong with you, Bruce? But
well, to be fair, he is a bear.
He is a bear.
Bear probably has a very different view on this.
His family of mice and geese decides the only way to get excited about it is to tell a spooky story.
That is not the way to get someone excited about Halloween. I'm just going to drop that one right now. That is not how you do that.
Yeah.
That is not... You get them working in a haunted house.
Yeah.
We have seen it firsthand how people who never thought twice about Halloween up until they worked here spent a night scaring people and fell in love with it.
Yeah.
It's an amazing thing.
Exactly. You empower the people who are scared of the thing.
And finally, we say goodbye to a long-running haunt. But yes, this is an article by Kelly D'Ambrosio and at Your Community Paper, Orlando. The Way We Were, Terror on Church Street. Basically, it's a love letter to a year-round haunt that closed years ago after developing the area meant the loss of seasonal customers.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, it talks about a feud with neighboring businesses.
One in particular.
Yeah, one in particular, yeah. And basically, goes into the history of this wonderful little attraction. This is one you should check out the article.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't want to go
It's a love story, and it's sweet, and
touching.
They still remember them and miss them.
Yes. Whew, okay, we did get through everything.
Yay!
I wasn't sure we were going to be able to. I got to be honest.
Yep.
But on that note, everyone, thank you very much for spending the past 50 minutes with us. Thank you for being patient and letting us get this out a day late without jumping down our throats. My throat was very much taken up with other things at that time. You didn't want to jump down my throat.
No.
So please, though, if you want more Haunt Weekly, check us out at the places we exist. We're hauntweekly.com, Haunt Weekly on Twitter, Haunt Weekly on Facebook, and youtube.com/hauntweekly. You can also find us wherever you get your podcasts from. Until next time, I'm Jonathan.
I'm Crystal.
And we will see you all next week.